Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Truth Train here on the internet, I guess. We are ensconced in hot sauce from our sponsor, Lloyd and Mellon. Just a quick note on the Lloyd and Mellon. It's a hot sauce, but it's not the hot sauce that people are used to.
You've now officially tasted it in a very, very official capacity.
I have.
Tell me your thoughts and feedback on the sauce.
Well, here's the thing. I knew a guy who had a big problem with debt. Okay? He got into some really bad business. He gambled away his money. He lost his savings. And it kind of went downhill from there. And right before he was like jumping off a cliff, he thought, well, you know, I'll just have one last meal. There was this hot dog stand,
Of course.
close to the bridge.
Right.
And there was this bottle of fermented hot sauce from Lloyd and Mellon, cayenne and lemongrass.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought, well, I'll just, who cares if it's kind of stings on the in the mouth a little bit on the way down to the eternal darkness.
Yeah.
But when he tasted the hot dog, he found will to live.
Mm-hmm.
He found new reasons to see daylight.
Internal serenity.
Yes, serenity. And nobody saw him for years after that.
Right.
And then he came back driving a Porsche.
And that person is Jeff Bezos.
It's Jeff Bezos. A good friend of ours.
It was Jeff the whole time.
It's Jeff the whole time. He built Amazon.
Yeah,
with that was the fuel that gave him the
as so commonly is the case, hot sauce was the foundation.
If you're down on your luck, try the hot sauce.
If you can't get women,
try the hot sauce.
That's right. And like if nothing is going your way, be like hot sauce.
You don't need women when you have hot sauce.
That's also true.
And you don't need men.
And you don't need money either.
You don't need money. You actually can be homeless with the hot sauce.
That's right.
And nobody would mind.
Being homeless with hot sauce, with this hot sauce, is better than being rich without it.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that's why we are endorsing the Lloyd and Mellon. Mm-hmm. Proud sponsor of the show.
So proud.
They have not told me this.
Yeah, no.
But we think they're proud.
We're still waiting for confirmation on the pride.
Yes, yes. They're not answering our emails.
No, they're not answering anything. They just dropped off a bunch of hot sauce.
So
we've gone rogue pretty much.
Yeah. So it's good stuff. And if you want to sponsor this podcast, we don't know because we already have a big one here.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Everyone deep down wants to be associated with a high-quality hot sauce. And if you say you don't, you're not only lying to us, but you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And then it's like, how do you don't even know who you are at this point, right?
What's worse, lying to everybody or yourself?
That's it. And we are a big supporter of denial in general.
Hey, that's why we made this podcast.
That's right. To support people in their denial journey.
Denial.
That's right. It is. Like all good things.
Yes.
But like, you cannot deny that this hot sauce is the future. Now, not only do they have the 3 staple flavors, right? And this is not them telling me to say this. They begged me not to say this.
Yeah.
But I refused.
They begged you.
They begged me, please, it's embarrassing. Don't go into the detail. Right. And I said, I'll do whatever the hell I want.
Right.
Anyway, so then they make these...
and they try to restrain you.
Oh, as they always do.
And try to hold you down, but you escaped.
Like most business meetings.
Because you wanted to tell the truth about the hot sauce.
That's right. That's right. I escaped the meeting to tell the truth.
You escaped the Lloyd and Mellon headquarters. The facilities.
That's right. That's
where
right.
They were trying to restrain you.
That's right.
Because you wanted the truth to come out there.
Let me be honest with you right now.
Okay.
I had a really hard time yesterday and today. Right. Because yesterday I saw a really beautiful woman with a fat, bald guy. Sure, he was a little bit younger, but like he had like tobacco in his mouth. Like the guy looked like an inch away from death.
Right.
And you look at stuff like that and you go, what? I have this luscious hair. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of a nice person. Like, what does he have that I don't have? Right? And most people who aren't affiliated with a high-quality hot sauce would be wondering the rest of their days.
That is true.
But we know he's somehow in the hot sauce business.
Obviously.
I mean, wow else
He's
would
a
that
broker within the hot sauce business.
be? Brokers.
Broker.
Brokers. Listen. He's a chili broker.
He's a chili broker.
That's what he does.
Okay, so when it comes to appearances, it is funny. I'm sitting here, of course, with Dex Carrington, the cause and the solution to many of the problems that are out there.
Mm-hmm. Most of them.
And you create the problems, but you also offer the solutions.
Well, I mean, I accuse others of that which I am guilty.
Right.
Like
when it comes to
Goebbels.
like Goebbels,
Yeah.
right? I didn't know that he was.
Okay, I thought everyone knew.
I haven't brushed up on my Goebbels in a while. You know,
You got to stay brushed.
you got to brush it up.
You got to brush it up. You know.
But when it comes to appearances, because Dex, I wanted to ask you, and a lot of people want me to ask you, because you're probably the only one who knows. The summer is coming, and it's coming fast. You know, faster and faster, many say.
Not as fast as this train, but
no.
fast nonetheless.
Fast nonetheless,
Yeah.
but we are quicker.
That's right.
Much quicker.
The truth is quicker than
Much quicker.
The truth is quicker than summer.
That's true.
That's, you know what? I remember when we printed that T-shirt last year. That was very popular, especially in Omaha.
Yeah, they sold out like this, like that. You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, appearances
Yeah.
are important in summer because we're wearing less clothes. We're walking around now. People are cutting their hair.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people tune into this podcast for styling tips and or image, like image tips, and like who should I be in this, like, you know, season, right?
Yeah.
So what would you recommend a guy now to do to get ready for the summer?
Wow. It's a fabulous question.
Yeah.
First of all, I would just like to say that we only have one sponsor, right? And that is at Lloyd and Mellon Hot Sauce. However, there is one salon that is more certified than any other salon to cater to all your summer styling needs, and that is Ouster Salons. And, you know, the owner, he would never forgive me for saying that because, you know, he's the kind of guy, he's like, listen, if you're going to support my salons, we want to pay you $6 million. And I'm like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm swimming around in hot sauce money.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna put it out there. And you know, if you look at my hair, right, which obviously everybody
wants a piece.
Everybody wants to look like a delusional person from the 1970s.
Yeah, or a doomsday prepper.
Yeah. Or one of those.
Yeah.
And Ouster Salons can cater to all those needs.
Right.
In all seriousness, the whole summer body thing is like, I don't know, man. Like I've just completely given up. Like I can't pull it off anymore. Like I should get like Haagen-Dazs as a sponsor so that I could justify the way I look without a shirt on. Like it's not okay. And it's unforgivable, but I want to start more basic than that. What I see with this new generation is everyone's got huge parachute pants. And parachute pants would be like, okay, there's an MC Hammer thing coming back, but it's like beyond parachute pants. For some reason, it's almost like you know when they fumigate a house for cockroaches?
Right.
It's like one of those tents, but as pants.
Wow.
So it's like people are like swimming around in their own pants. And it'd be one thing if you had like a backwards hat and you were like smoking a joint and you had some muscles and you had a tank top and you were a bit gangster with maybe like a tattoo or two, like of teardrops coming down your eye because you killed a couple of people.
Yeah.
You know, like fumigation pants, street cred.
Right.
But they don't even have that. And so what they have instead is they have sort of like a Björn Borg 1970s like gay porn actor mustache.
Right.
And for some reason piercings. Like, listen, it's bad enough with the mustache and the pants. Okay? The piercings, like, don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's like if you're flying over Dresden as they're bombing it, right? Don't pour on gasoline, you know? Like, it's bad enough.
Yeah, you don't need the gasoline on top.
Not on Dresden.
Not on Dresden.
So other places need gasoline, but not Dresden.
Exactly.
And the same way, these idiots with the huge pants and the mustache, You look like an unemployed porn actor.
Yeah, how is that even possible? Imagine being an unemployed porn actor. Like, I can't get work.
And yet you still call yourself a
porn actor. Yeah. I can't get any work.
I'm an unemployed porn actor, but you're not doing any porn.
Yeah, but have you gone to auditions? Yeah, many. But they won't hire me. Nobody wants to fuck me. Sorry.
Nobody wants my
nobody wants
my porn acting services.
Yeah, and like they're talking about like something about my pants, like it's too big or like I don't know. I do agree with you. It's more like it's not even hipster anymore. It's like evolved into something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's out of control now.
It looks like people who are sort of like made of dough and they're in the sun melting.
Right.
You know what I mean by that? Like there's no backbone. If you look at Sean Connery at 35, he looked like a 55-year-old submarine captain on steroids today. If you look at a 35-year-old now, they look like a 12-year-old, waiting for Santa with the porn mustache. And it's not okay. Like, listen, you can't just walk around looking. Okay, I'll give you a good example. I was on a date with a hippie woman who claimed that I don't wash my hair, I don't shower, something like that. Now I wear like Dior perfume, and I said, "Wow, you don't shower." And then I held up my hand and I said, "What do you think of this smell?" Which had the perfume on it. And she smelled it and she goes, "Ugh, gross. What is that?" She's a hippie. It was gross to her. But I said, "That's the smell of employment." Right?
Yeah.
So you have to look employable.
It smells like income.
It's a great t-shirt. I smell like income. Exactly. Oh, man. And then, listen, just while we're on the subject, what is the deal with these people coloring their hair? Like, come on. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over. Let it go. We're doomsday prepping now.
Yeah. Get ready. Yeah, it's like they don't think that anything's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You don't, like, when we're on the brink of World War III, that's not the time to color your hair. It's the time to shave it off.
Shave it off and get a gun.
That's right. And a lawn chair, which I've spoken extensively about.
Yeah, of course. I mean, why aren't there any lawn chair companies sponsoring this podcast?
That's true. That's true. Because if you're going to be sitting outside your doomsday bunker, what do you sit in, right?
Exactly.
You can't what are you going to sit in, an office chair?
No.
Please, no one's going to take that seriously.
Nobody's going to take that seriously.
No, you and your army of chickens and a lawn chair.
Yes.
So these people with the mustache, I mean, what do you think about this mustache business?
I think the problem nowadays is that it seems to me that the genders they want more and more to kind of like they want to melt into each other in a way. It's like if you're a thin, big pants, thin mustache, big shirt, pale, or whatever the color of your skin is, like you look like a person who's like kind of like, I don't care about anything. And then also the women is like, I also don't care about anything. Look at my big pants down by the shoes here. It's like they walk on their pants like they're stepping on it, right? And then it comes like the pants comes ruffled down here, and it's more like everybody. I was at a bar last night. That's why I'm hungover today, of course.
Right.
Which is why I'm using the sunglasses, because the light in here is killing me.
Of course.
But anyway, so I was at this bar, and there was a lot of like art students and kind of like student people at that bar. Student humans.
Yeah.
And they were all hanging. Everybody was looking like they looked the same. Like it was like an old leather jacket that was like in the 80s, but not anymore. It was like everybody was like, it was like a bad taste meeting.
Right.
Concept, whatever.
World Championship
of bad taste.
Yeah.
Because I used to have go to when I was young, really young, it was like a bad taste party, and like put on the ugliest clothes you can can put on, and then you go to a party and it's like, hey, oh, you're ugly. No, I'm ugly.
Like a one-piece ski suit, stuff like that.
Yeah, and this happened in the 90s, I remember. Like bad taste party. But it seems to me now that the world has become a bad taste party.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the problem. So I think the whole thin mustache, the whole, like they have these canvas bags that they have, and it's like, and a t-shirt and like a summer shirt, and everything's kind of like the color, everything is off. And me and you, we're big on the fashion.
Of course, we're huge on the
Huge
fashion.
on the fashion. People call us about fashion tips.
On a regular basis.
Like my phone, I have to, I have to take it off. Like I have to turn it off for every.
Milan, Japan,
I was just in Milan.
That's right. Coaching Fashion Week.
Yeah, I was in Lake Tacoma, but nonetheless.
Right.
There's fashion going on.
Yeah, that's right. Very a lot of fashion.
But the point is, like, we're to not sound like two grumpy old men here.
No.
Okay, we have to be careful.
Oh, it's true.
Let's not sound like two old grumpy men.
But I hated everything in the 90s too.
Yeah, that's true. So we have a consistent track record here.
We have some credibility.
Yes. We've hated everything forever.
Which makes us great.
So like, you're grumpy. No, I have always hated everything. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's right.
It's like a family member of mine. Let's say he's above me in the chain of command.
Chronological order.
Yeah. But he hates everybody and everything, right? And you can't call him a racist because he's always hated everything.
I know.
So it's like, well, that's racist. No, but he also hates this. Oh, okay. So he's consistent then.
Yeah.
So I think the solution here.
I mean, just to clarify, that is actually the greatest response I've ever heard. Hey, isn't that a little racist? How can it be racist if I hate everyone?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not like I just hate that race.
No.
I hate the world. I hate all the races.
I hate everyone.
Amusement parks, planes. I hate it all.
Yes.
Like don't belittle my hatred.
Yeah, it's like
It's almost an insult because they're taking your massive, pungent hatred and dwindling it down to like and isolating it. Like, oh, you hate that table. No, it's bigger.
Yeah, it's like criticizing. It's like criticizing Hitler about like, well, he didn't do the parks very well.
It's exactly the same.
Right? No, he did much worse than not funding the parks and recreational places.
The Parks and Rec department wasn't funded well.
Yeah, like no.
That's what was wrong with Hitler.
That's not his biggest problem.
Right.
He did worse things. And so I think being a racist towards one group is bad, but if you hate everyone, that's even worse.
Yeah, but like, at least no one can call you racist, though.
That's true, but it's worse because I think if you have the luxury of hating one group, well, hats off to you. How do you do that? How can you hate one group of people?
Just one?
One? Who has that luxury?
Yeah.
That's insanity.
It is.
Like, I hate those people.
Yeah. Over there.
Like, only them? Why don't you hate everyone over here? Well, I haven't really thought about that. Well, you're cherry picking your hatred.
Yeah.
That's not good enough.
Yeah. It's pretty unacceptable, but
I think it is.
But like you said, the whole world's a bad taste party.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've been saying, like, I got sober almost 6 years ago.
Right.
June 1st. I got 6 years clean and sober. Which, for normal people why is that a big deal? You know what I mean? But for me, it's a big deal. I don't like it here during the summer, this whole city vibe, because it's like living in the Burning Man festival area.
Right.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a very good analogy.
Thank you. And I thought that was just because people are drinking and smoking pot and riding around on scooters. But it's not that. No. It's because it's almost like a huge costume party. So people are riding around and looking just so ridiculous. Like, I have purple hair, I'm amazing, and all this like piercing bullshit. And you got your stupid pants and your stupid, like, you're fucking like, oh, your sweater. God, I hate your sweater. And you're on a scooter. And then, like, not only do you have a scooter, but you have sunglasses and you have headphones. Like, I'm too good to like listen and be part of the world. Yeah, but you're in traffic, you non-contributing zero. Like, what are you doing? So like, you're just like a wandering target for other people to hit you with their car, but they get sued. God, the narcissism, and that's what these clothes represent. You know what I mean? You are so self-absorbed and fucking stupid. Unlike us.
Unlike us, who are not those things.
We're the complete opposite. I mean, we're part of the hot sauce elite now. We're allowed to say that.
Hey, it's like we're allowed to do everything we want to do because
right.
like we got the endorsements.
We do. Pineapple and jalapeno sauce.
Exactly. But here's the point. The point is this. I think we did touch on it in the beginning here. The fashion now, the bad taste party that is going on. They're like the evolved hipster, as I call them.
Right.
It's the evolution. It's the hipster 2.0, right? They look down. The 2.0 are looking down at the beta. Oh, that's a beta hipster because the now beta hipster, he had like a bicycle with one gear and he had like a mustache and like a fancy coffee setup and he had like braces, suspenders, and he had like a
the twirly mustache.
Twirly mustache.
Mr. Mustache.
Mr. Mustachio. And he had the
bow tie.
The shirt and the cord pants.
And maybe a bow tie.
Maybe a bow tie. Yeah.
And also huge beard.
Yeah, and they spend a lot of money on the beard. Yeah. And they always have an Apple computer on them.
A lot of beard oils.
Right. And that was a hipster.
Mm-hmm, it was.
Right? And there was this case, I think it was from was it Oregon? I'm not sure. But I think it was Portland, Oregon. The police had problems sometimes distinguishing between homeless people and the new hipsters.
Whoa.
So they were like, hey, you can't be in this area here. You're not allowed to sleep here. What do you mean? I'm a student. We thought you were homeless.
Wow.
That was a big problem. Wow. You can quote me on this. Go on the internet. In Oregon, somewhere in the U.S.
Don't worry, I'll be quoting you.
Oh, you can quote me big time.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the U.S., the police had problems with distinguishing between the hipsters and the homeless.
Wow.
And that says something about a society. What does it say? It says that, hey, nothing's ever going to happen to me. Because I can do whatever I want. I don't even need to show any respect to society. Yeah. Because I'm a self-centered, self-serving bastard.
Yeah, like I can look like a homeless person, and if anyone accuses me of being homeless, they're the problem.
Exactly.
So it's like you're throwing the whole thing out of whack, but you're blaming everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking arrogance.
The arrogance. So this is what's happening now. But
then now is the 2.0.
And now it's the 2.0, and he's even worse. Right? And he's like even more homeless.
More homeless.
He's more homeless.
With all the obvious implications that comes with that. Yeah.
Yes, we all know what that means.
We all know what that means.
Yes.
It's a smaller tent. It's a bigger alcohol bottle.
Exactly.
More homeless.
More pee.
Oh, God, that's good.
Yes.
Yes, he is. Okay, so more homeless. And how is this? So, but I mean, it's this whole thing of just like, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. You come home to your parents and like, hey, can't you dress up? Hey, how dare you tell me what? I'm going to go the opposite way. That's it's like you're still a teenager, because when you were a teenager and your parents told you, don't wear that, you were wearing that.
That's right.
You were wearing it harder, much more and to the extreme degree.
Yeah.
And they were like, it was like a protest, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to wear whatever I want. And now those kids has turned like 25, 30, and they're still in opposition.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That is the problem.
And we're not doing a Jordan B. Peterson course here. We're not saying, clean your bed and put on a suit and cry on every podcast. No. That's not what we're saying. No. That's not what we're saying. Mm-hmm. We're saying, and we're not Andrew Tate either.
No.
Right? Like, don't work out every day and put on a tight suit so you can show off your biceps. Mm-hmm. We're not saying that either.
No.
What we're saying is just put on something that is showing that, hey, I am now in society with other people, and I respect my environment.
And I smell like employment.
And I smell like income. Okay? Based on my smell, I have an income. My parents are not involved in my economy.
Yeah,
Because that's what you're selling. When you drive around on your scooter with your big headset, your big shirt and your big pants, and it's like hole in them, and you have like a ruggedy old leather jacket from the thrift store or whatever.
Yeah.
You're showing that, hi, my parents are involved in my economy.
Like a special needs child.
Well, if I'm going to get a loan, my parents are going to sign on my loan. They're going to sign off on it.
Yes, they are.
So that's what you're selling.
That's right.
But if you kind of like dress in the middle, you show that, hey, I'm taking care of myself. But if you want to be with that child, hey, have at it.
Right.
You know?
But then again, like, I must say that these people don't want to be told what to do.
Exactly.
I mean, we all know why, but in my opinion, because they're idiots. But I've been that same idiot. I used to be very, very, very stupid. And can you believe it?
No.
I know, it's unfathomable.
Oh my God.
I know. Unlike the genius I am today.
Yes.
I was once very stupid.
But now,
of course, these are different times. But these people don't want to be told what to do. If you tell them, put on a shirt, be part of society, smell like income, they're going to be like, whatever, man, you can't tell me. So in the 12-step fellowships where we help people recover from drug addiction and alcoholism, sometimes people will come in, like the desperate wife of an alcoholic, and she'll say, how can I help him? What can I do? And the answer inevitably is always more alcohol. So what we should do, if you wanted to really reach these people, is you go up to them and you go, hey, listen, you know, it'd be way cooler if you were a hipster. And they'd be like, what do you mean? I mean, I got the bow tie. It's like, dude, I didn't even know you were a hipster. I didn't even know you were trying. You know, all the real hipsters, they're living down by the river, peeing all over each other.
yes.
They're so homeless.
We're exactly as this. Just follow the smell.
Just follow the smell. But like, they're more homeless than the homeless now.
Exactly.
And so if you now can like live by the river in a tiny sleeping bag, get peed on all night, and get addicted to fentanyl, this will now make them one day want to buy a suit and never go back.
Yes. This will change the fashion in society. If you're getting peed on all day long by the river. That's our solution.
It's got to be by the river.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you want drainage, of course.
Of course.
What are you talking about?
For all the pee, yeah.
Yes.
But pee your way to employment. You know what I mean? And it's a government program.
Yes, it's government sponsored.
But listen, all these people need to be told. It's just like, dude, I didn't know you were like not hipster anymore. They're like, what do you mean? I own a barbershop. You know what I mean? I have the thing. I do the oils. I have the Mr. Mustachio. I'm doing all the stuff. It's like, man, I don't know. The real hipsters are down there by the garbage dump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they eat garbage.
Yeah, but like stabbing each other.
Yeah, but don't they have like a graphic designer course or interior design? Yeah, but they eat garbage now because they're more homeless than the homeless.
Yeah, and instead of like going to the office, they break Coke bottles and stab each other with them.
Right.
And then whoever dies, everybody pees on them.
Yeah.
That's the new
That's the new hipster.
That's the new hipster. That's the hipster 3.0.
That's
And if they can live like that for long enough,
it will implode.
well, I think they'll want to join society again.
Yeah, it will implode, and then like, you know, we've had enough of this. You know, I want to go back to society. I want to get off my parents' income. I want to do my own thing, and I think we have a solution here. And this is also something we talked about earlier. We talked about like you were so fed up about all the bloggers and all the influencers, and like I wanted to be less of it or whatever we used to talk about. Yeah. And I said, no, I think we should have more of it, because the more influencers, the more like, hey, look at me, I'm in Bali, or hey, look at me, I'm eating this, and I'm traveling here, and I'm like, look at me, I'm hot, and everybody's hot, and the internet is just like, oh, not even real people. It's even like AI, like the hot AI woman is now like have like 100,000 followers or millions or whatever. We just need we need more of it, and so much that people like, I'm done with this, you know, because like I had this the other day on Instagram. It's like showing you like, because I follow cars, you know, I look at cars, I look at comedy, and for some reason, like every now and sometimes, there's a hot woman or whatever, and then like it's in your feed. Like, hey, this is a sponsored person, and she's hot, and like, what is this? And like, I'm not interested. And now because you went into that account, they're now, oh, he wants hot women all the time,
That's
right?
what he wants.
Yeah. And then, so like, I was like, the feed is just like the proposed feed. Like when you go into like, hey, this is what we think you like. And it's like, I'm just looking at it and everybody's like on the beach and it's just like contributing to nothing. It's like, and I was just like, look, I just felt sad for all human, the whole human race.
Yeah.
Just like, what is this?
It's so brutal.
And it's not sustainable.
No.
And again, I was watching some show and they said like the youth of today, their biggest dream is to become an influencer.
Yeah.
That's like 70% of the young people. I want to be a person who's like unboxing on the internet. That's their gig.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do. Or they
Yeah.
want to be like, hey, I have a cream today. Somebody gave me a cream. Like, that's your life? That's what you want to do?
Yeah.
And like, hey, I got bed sheets from this great company, and they have like 20% off. Nobody's selling hot sauce, by the way.
No.
Like real men.
No, that's true.
People who are ready for the war. Hot sauce. Get ready for the war.
Yeah. Or wait. It's like most people are afraid of the apocalypse, but the apocalypse is only afraid of hot sauce.
Exactly.
Lloyd and Mellon.
Yeah. But anyway, so I think, but again, this is a very important topic because
yeah, but like the unboxing. Look at me, I have a new cream.
I have a new cream.
I have a new cream today. The Chinese, the number one profession that Chinese kids want is astronaut. But it's in the West that they all want influencer.
But doesn't that, it kind of means that we won.
Whoa.
If you think about it, we did win.
Win what?
We won life. We in the West,
Right.
in the Western Hemisphere, we did win because I want to be an astronaut. I want to be. We achieved so much greatness and such a high living standard that we're now like, okay, we've kind of like fixed everything. I want to unbox
On a beach.
on a beach. And that says something.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying it's great. I'm saying that we won.
There are no more problems.
Because in China, you wouldn't dare dream of that,
no.
right? Because I want to be an astronaut because I want to be important.
Yeah.
But here in the West, it's like I want to be important in a bikini or like having abs and like showing the yogurt that I've eaten, my breakfast. Right?
Showing
That-
yogurt?
Yeah. Look at my yogurt and my muesli thing. Right?
Yeah.
We dream of that now, which means that we're done with the astronaut. We went to the moon. We got Elon Musk. He's flying the rockets. We've kind of outsourced everything. Yeah. We got the packages, the 1-day delivery. We got everything going on, right? Everything's accessible. Everything's like, so we kind of won.
Yeah, because like China is still such a backwards country that if you had a fentanyl addiction and lived by the river in a tent,
That would be horrible.
it would be horrible in China.
In China, that would be horrible.
But here,
Today, you would be the hottest guy.
in the West, that is the hottest thing. That is the hippest thing there is.
Yeah, he lived by a river. He's so cool.
Yeah.
He smells like pee all the time.
Yeah. Or like you're like even better is like you put on pants that are so big that like you literally suffocate in them.
Yeah.
Because you like can't get out of your own pants. And also I like the idea of like the ultimate status obviously must be to be an unemployed porn actor.
Right.
And that's an interesting choice because, if you're an unemployed, let's say movie star, at least that's something high status that's currently not happening. But nobody wants to hire you to have sex on camera, which is not ideal.
I think that's the worst. Like if you're unemployed, and it has probably happened that some people are like, I'm trying to get into the porn industry, but nobody's hiring me. Nobody wants to fuck me. That must be so horrible.
Yeah.
And like, okay, let's turn to gay porn then. At least, they will fuck me. And like, no, I can't get anything.
Yeah.
Like that. No, it's like, we have our actors here. We have enough people, but thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
But we can take you out for dinner later if you want to.
Yeah.
Like, but if you don't get any work, I mean, that's sad. But I would say that we did win. And I think what we're seeing now with all the hot people and all the, like, even like these Ukrainian women who all, they escaped Ukraine and then they went to the West and then like some people went all over the world and like they're just like hot people in Mexico or in Asia or like just living it up. And like, hey, just selling like sponsorships and like endorsing products and just like being hot while the men are fighting in Ukraine and like, but now I did see there are hot women in Ukraine blogging from the war zone.
Right.
That's a new thing now.
Yeah.
There was this woman who was like she was like hot with a machine gun.
Right.
And like had like a cast on her arm because something went off around. Something blew up and she had like a cast, but she's hot and a machine gun. I was like, that is interesting. That's a new take. I haven't seen that one before.
Yeah.
That's a new thing that has happened now. You can now blog from the war zone. And these people are kind of
war zone influencer.
Exactly. Right?
I'm a war zone influencer.
I'm hot in the war zone.
My boyfriend is a 3.0 hipster down by the river getting peed on, building up a fentanyl addiction.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm blogging from that war zone over there.
Exactly.
We're a very new age couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that
and then join our OnlyFans.
This is the future.
Yeah.
And you can probably find that too. Yeah. OnlyFans. Like, hey, I'm going to go to war today, but I'm going to come back and then I'm going to live stream from my bed. Like, this is the time we live in.
Yeah, it is.
And if you think that is sustainable, you got another thing coming.
Yeah. 100%.
100%.
And, speaking of which, like, I got to be honest, like, I looked myself in the mirror today and it's like, I want to shoot steroids so badly.
Right.
Because just like you, there was a steroid post once on my Instagram and I looked at it for too long and all I get is steroid stuff.
Right.
They're like, oh yeah, you got to take, orals like Anavar and Vinstrol, and you got to mix that with Anadrol and Deca, right? You got to throw in like a microdose of Tren, and you got to have a testosterone base. And these people are like yelling and screaming at each other. Like they're finding these people who like do steroid cycles online, and then they're like criticizing them. And then there's like a third person like criticizing the guy who's criticizing the guy who did the cycle kind of thing. They're like, what the fuck you doing? You did this compound and that compound without a trend base and they're losing their minds, right? But anyway, it seems like a very appealing thing. The number one fear for me though is that, I've been stuck on so-called psychiatric drugs before, and like the idea of like, going to a deserted island and having to somehow go off those drugs. What if you can't get the drugs anymore? And it's the same with testosterone. If you replace your own testosterone and suddenly you run out of it, now you become suicidal and you can't function as a person and you're like dying, in a gutter.
With the hipsters.
What's that?
With the hipsters.
Down by the river.
Down by the river.
Now you're getting peed on, and it wasn't even your intention.
Exactly.
Because everybody becomes a hipster in the end.
Yes.
But I think the interesting thing, though, is, I have certain other attributes that I think can distract people from my body. You know?
What's such as?
Well, as an example, the hair.
Yeah, you have hair.
And people will be like, whoa, that's a lot of hair, right? And then I can sort of dazzle them a little bit with some, hand movements.
Yeah, you have like a lion's mane.
Right? And then so they're not so interested maybe in what's going on down there. But you and I are both very, very lucky because we're not bald or balding.
We're not balding. Well, right? I mean, and I cherish the gods. I'm lucky.
Yep.
You're lucky. And I don't take that for granted at all.
No.
I mean, it's the only thing I have.
Right. Hey,
it's the only thing I have.
I think the same thing every day.
If my hair goes, I might as well just get peed on and die.
Until I got this hot sauce deal, it was the only thing I had too.
Exactly. I mean, even the hot sauce can't save you then.
That's true. Yeah. But like in all seriousness, right? I got to be honest with you. If I was bald, I would think that, at this point, I'm just going to become a steroid guy.
Because you can't be a guy who's thin and bald and have a big nose.
Yeah,
You can't do it.
Yeah.
If you if you're like I'm a lawyer and I have money. It's like yeah, but you're thin, you're bald, and you have a big nose. I mean, the only recipe or only remedy here is to actually then take steroids and build muscles, because you can't be bald and not have muscles.
Yes.
You can't do it.
That's true.
You can't do it.
Like, have you ever seen like a bald person who has like hair on the sides and they have like a nice shirt and like a cardigan and they work in an office and they're like, "Hello, may I assist you at this library?" Like, no. That's worse than the dumpster people stabbing each other with Coke bottles.
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously, you got to be a steroid person.
I mean, there is no. Listen, we have been thinking about this for a while now.
It's true.
We've been looking at every exit and every avenue and like trying to find a solution. There is only one solution for a person who's thin, pale, and bald.
Yeah,
and that is a huge amount of steroids.
That's right.
That's the only way to go.
Right.
Because you have to like if you're in a court case and like defending somebody, it's like yeah, and you're standing there like yeah. I don't care about you. I want that criminal you're defending who's like full of tattoos, big muscles, and bald.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the guy I want, right? If you're a female, because that guy symbolizes power.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And also, by the way, if you're bald, that is very scary.
It is.
It is very scary. And why is it scary? Because if that guy is bald, and there are solutions now, you can go to Turkey and fix it. You can buy whatever. Things grow back now.
Yeah, they can put
They're
stuff in there.
cloning sheep now.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? But you've chosen not to run. Like you have chosen to be this person.
You've chosen to go bald.
Exactly. That is very scary, because that means that you don't give a fuck.
That's right.
That's what it means. That's what it means.
That's right.
And if a guy comes over to like two bouncers at a bar and he's like bald, like, what's your fucking problem? He's like a thin guy who's bald. You should be very afraid.
A thin guy who's bald is like a creepy guy.
Yeah, that's a crazy guy.
Yeah, that's like a guy who blows up buildings or is like a stalker or a serial killer.
Exactly.
But if you get tons and tons of steroids, now you're a debt collector. Don't worry about it.
You got a job.
Yeah, and he's safe. Like, you're safe with him. Like,
Yeah, you're safe with that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he is violent every now and then, yes.
but to the right people.
yes, of course.
Yeah. But like, if you're skinny and bald, you're like a person who's like, I don't know, it's very, very creepy. Or what the trendy people now would call ick.
Well, they call it whatever. Like, they change that word every now and then. But the point is this. Because there is a solution to your problems, and you're still hanging on to it. It's like you don't give a fuck. That's scary. What do you have under there? Do you have a gun? Is there a knife? What's going on here? What are you not telling us?
Okay, you know what? I would like to just turn it around. What was the first thing I said? I said, I'm not happy with the body situation, but I'll distract them with my hair.
Right.
Okay? If you're bald, you do the opposite. You distract them with your body.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Because you have to overcompensate.
Yes. Like
that's the whole, yes, me and you are overcompensating.
Always.
Everything.
Always.
Everything.
Every minute.
Every minute of every day, everything is overcompensating.
That's right.
That's our mission.
That's right.
Because we need to distract the female race.
Over here.
What am I looking at? What am I like? You're not looking here.
Yeah.
Don't look at my stomach.
Yeah.
Don't look at my face.
Don't look at my teeth even.
Don't look at anything. The hair. Look at the hair.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's the same thing. So I would say, honestly, you have a moral obligation to be on steroids permanently if you go bald. Because like our society looks weak if you're going to walk around bald and not be full of anadrol.
Okay, we do have some exemptions here.
Do we?
Yeah, because I mean, if you're sick, we will let it go.
Yeah, okay, fine, but I'm talking like just like a government program where it's available to everyone.
Yeah, but I'm saying like if you're sick and like whatever it is, cancer and stuff, sure. Listen, I support your cause and good Godspeed. Mm-hmm. But if you're just a normal guy who drives around and has a job in an office or whatever it is, and you're bald and you don't take huge amounts of testosterone, like who are your friends?
Yeah, and what do you think you're doing?
What do you think you're doing? This is an opportunity we are selling you.
When there's blood in the streets, invest.
We invest.
Yeah, that's right.
And listen, you're going bald. Okay, we're sorry to hear that. But there are other ways around this. I remember talking to a woman. I was in my young 20s, and she said, I love men with big muscles, no hair, and a golden chain. That was her. She loved that. And she was like a sweet lady, studied economy. And she was like, okay, this is like a sweet, normal lady. And she's like, I don't like men who's like just like a guy with a blazer.
Right.
I want men who's like has a bulldog or a pit bull. Like what? You don't look like a woman who likes that. What is this? She only liked guys who were nightclub bouncers.
Right.
Basically.
That
was her style. And so obviously there's a market for this. You're a big guy, you're bald, and you have muscles. Yeah. You're scary. But you're scary to other people, and you're protecting your woman, right? Yeah. That's the business that you have to go into. Yeah, but I'm kind of short. Well, more testosterone for you then.
Yeah.
You have to grow the other way.
Yeah.
You can't get taller, fine, but you can grow the other way.
That's right. You get wider.
You can get wider.
Wide load.
And
also human growth hormone, somatropin. You know?
I don't, again, this is your table.
Yeah, but you just shove that in there every morning, you know what I mean? And before you go to bed, and you're just like taking like the Vinstrol and the Anavar and the Anadrol and the Superdrol, you know what I mean? And all this crazy stuff. And here's the thing, if anyone out there is thinking like, oh, like how offensive, like it's like you said, this is the ultimate opportunity. Like I would give anything to have like like I wish so badly I had some sort of like disease where I was forced to be on anabolic steroids. I mean, you feel like a god, you know what I mean?
I pray to God that we all pray for disease so that we can take it.
You know, but like you feel like a living god, you know what I mean? Right. And you're just like, bah! You know, it's unbelievably amazing. And so this is like the greatest gift ever. And so all I'm saying is this. Everyone has something they don't like about themselves, and it's all about overcompensating with another thing.
Exactly.
So distract people. So all, like, appearance is basically a magic trick, unless you're a 3.0 hipster, where there's nothing to hide.
Nothing to hide. So here's the breakdown.
Yeah.
If you're going bald, just shave it off. Go to the gym. The only thing you're doing, you're pumping the big muscles. You're pumping the big muscles. What are we talking about? We're talking about the chest.
Yeah.
We're talking about the glutes.
Yeah.
We're talking about the arms, you know? Get big shoulders.
Yeah, and you need a couple of tattoos of tears coming down from the eye.
I mean, that is optional. An optional package we're selling. But you have to get tattoos, that's for sure.
Yeah, of course.
So you're getting the big muscles. You're taking the testo. You're getting the big muscles. And now you need to tattoo. And you think, okay, I'm done now, right? No. You need a dog. You need a dog that looks like you. Okay?
That's true.
You have to find a dog that looks like you. And give him some testosterone as well. Okay? You're all juiced up here.
It's mandatory.
It's mandatory.
The dog has to be on juice too.
And then the women will look at you.
That's right.
Because like, wow, he's dangerous. And what do women love?
Danger. That is scientifically proven, by the way. Women love danger.
I don't even need to prove it.
No, of course we don't.
Because all the women are now disgusted of what we're saying. They're like, well, that's true.
Yeah. So anyone who we lost along the way there, they're back now.
Oh, they're back.
Yeah.
But the point is that so now you're like this scary monster that's protecting people. And if you have a big nose, you have to have bigger muscles.
That's true.
It's the only way to do this. You know?
100%.
Because like you can't be a bald guy with a big again. This is provable. You can't do it.
You know Jeff Bezos, who we talked
He's
about earlier.
He's a brilliant example.
Yeah.
He was a thin guy and he got bald. And what did he do? He was like, you know what? I have a hot Mexican woman now. I want her to want me. So what do I have to do? Exactly.
That's right.
We followed our protocols.
That's right. Which we invented.
Kind of.
Yeah, a little.
Yes, slightly.
But anyway, this is ultimately the thing of the future. You know, if you take too many steroids, over too long a period of time, you can actually lose your hair, right? So that's the inverse correlation here.
Yeah, but
ironically
if the
enough.
hair's gone, it's gone.
Hey, but that's it. If it's gone, it's gone.
You got to commit now.
Yeah, hey, you're a steroid guy now. Don't even worry about it. And here's the best part about steroids. There are two drugs that people will always deny using. That's steroids and cocaine.
Right.
So,
yeah, of course, you don't tell anyone that you're using it.
Of course not.
And we're not saying you should use it.
And people are going to be asking you continuously.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
How did you get in this amazing shape? And you just go, diet.
Diet. Spinach.
Hey, abs are made in the kitchen.
Have you seen the Popeye the Sailor Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, Popeye. Yeah, he ate a lot of spinach. That's what I'm doing. Really? Spinach, huh? And then, of course, under the spinach leaves, you have a bunch of ampules.
Yeah. Good old-fashioned ampules under the spinach leaves.
Popeye ate spinach.
Yeah,
right,
that's what he did, along with his Anadrol.
You know what? I think actually Popeye was invented by a company who was trying to sell spinach.
Really?
Yeah, because nobody was buying it.
Wow.
So we need to. So there was like a branding campaign.
Okay.
About that, the spinach, the Popeye the Sailor Man, and then he ate spinach, and all the kids wanted to eat spinach.
Right.
That's what happened.
Massive success.
Yeah.
Massive success.
I wanted I even told my parents I want to eat spinach.
Yeah.
And I ate it. It was just like, oh, this is horrible.
Right.
But he's a guy who's like, he's a great example of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
His woman is in danger.
Mm.
He's getting beaten up by the what is it called, Brutus?
Yeah.
And then what does he do? He goes and takes this box of whatever it is, and he puts it in his body, and now he's juiced up.
That's right. He's juiced.
And now he's just like beating everyone.
Yeah, he is.
And now she respects him again.
That she does. Women respect violence.
Because that's why they listen to true crime episodes.
Well, here's the thing. Women, here's what I know about women for sure.
Yeah.
They respect violence and steroids. That's just science. Follow the science, you know?
I think some people will disagree with that statement.
Well, that's crazy.
But, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Exactly.
That's their problem.
That's their problem.
Yeah, because the real science you get here first. Hey, is this the false science train? No.
Listen, our train is moving in the speed of science.
At the speed of truth, I'd say.
Yeah, that too. Which is quicker.
Truth is the quickest element in the universe. You know?
So I had actually an interesting something interesting that happened, or it didn't happen to me, but I saw it happen, and I haven't seen that in a while. So because these hipster at this bar, these artist people, whatever it was, I think it was like opening of a gallery, or like there was some exhibition or whatever, and they were like, this one, there was the pretty girl, she was pretty, and there was some other pretty woman who was also very pretty, like a slightly more pretty, but still both of them great. And the one woman was sitting talking with a guy, and then the prettiest woman came over, and then like, so what are you talking about me, or like why are you talking about me, or something like that. And then like there was one taller than the other, and then that little one was like just like right in her face, like, you fucking, and it started going off. And I haven't seen in a while and she was like spitting her in the face.
Wow.
She was like, you, just like, I was like, okay, this is punching is gonna happen like 3, 2, 1. But there were no punches. She was just in her face, like, you fucking this and fucking that. But I couldn't hear what they were arguing about. I don't know what it was about, but they were like, just like so fucking mad. And like the taller one was like kind of cool, and she was not screaming, but the little one was just like fucking, just raging. And it was so beautiful to see, actually, because like usually if I see confrontation, it's always men, and it always ends the same way. It's like somebody gets hit, and whatever it is. But the women didn't hit. Like it was like on the precipice of
on
violence.
the verge.
In the verge, yes.
On the verge of violence.
On the verge of violence.
It's a great album name and or movie name.
Yes, on the verge of violence.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was sitting there with some friends, and we were talking about something, but we couldn't focus on anything else. we were like sitting there watching two women like going in each other's faces. It was so beautiful because like I love because sometimes women get they get silent when they're mad. They get silent and they give you the cold shoulder, and it's like
silent treatment.
Yes, the cold shoulder, and then it's like, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong.
Right.
It's more psychopathic, which is way more psycho.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Mm-hmm. I love when people like fucking just blow up.
Yeah,
because that shows you that hey, I'm not a psycho. I have issues with something.
Yeah,
and here's my problem. I rather have that.
That's true.
From my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So I was like, kind of like, yes, this is a woman I would like to date.
Wow.
A woman who gets in your face and like, you fucking, you know, I rather have that.
But the thing is with the whole spiritual movement, and obviously I've said this many times, but it's all these people with just repressed anger. So spirituality says like, oh, don't get angry, like be chill, you know what I mean? Just move with the flow, be the Zen, be the universe, all this bullshit. And so people aren't like that. People are very, very angry, and people are very envious, and they're very, very shitty, and you know what I mean? So they just push all those things down, right? And I get so angry all the time. People go, don't get so angry. It's like it's way worse with this person who's just shoving it down, because that's how you get a serial killer.
That's how you get the Columbine shooters.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, school shootings.
Yeah, that's how you get them.
Repressed anger. And like, then it comes up, and then everyone has to go.
Like the guy who tried to shoot Trump, right?
Yeah.
That was a guy who was like, he was teased in school. Like, there was an interview with some people. Like, he went to the school. Did anyone know him? No, nobody really hung out with him. The girls were teasing him, called him a loser. You know? That's a big one.
That's right.
If a guy calls you a loser, you kind of can take it. You know?
That's
okay.
True.
So because, you know, it's a monkey jungle, you know, who's bigger, the bigger monkey. But if the woman calls you a loser,
then you got to shoot Trump.
Then you got to prove yourself.
You do.
So in many ways, the women were actually the one who was killing Trump in a way.
Which again proves that they were thirsty for violence and steroids.
But they did. So at the interview, I was listening to the radio and like, yeah, this guy, he was like a very, like nobody knew. He was like a nerd, like pimples, glasses, didn't have any muscles. He was already thinning. He was already thinning on top.
Right.
You know, he was losing that hair fast.
He made a lot of mistakes, this guy.
And then he had like a drone and machine guns, and he was stocking up. He had walkie-talkies, but nobody to talk to.
See, the thing is, if he had heard our podcast before that, he could have redirected all those guns toward
a gym and testosterone.
Well, I mean, he could have taken all his guns and directed it toward Armageddon. You know what I mean? Like apocalypse.
Yeah, that too.
And his doomsday bunker.
But he could have focused on like, okay, listen, I'm going to shave my head. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to become like a monster, like an animal.
Yeah,
I'm going to become an animal
with a pit bull next to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As a best friend, sidekick. You know?
That's right, because people respect a good sidekick.
Exactly.
You know, I don't have a sidekick.
You don't.
And it shows.
It does.
Because the respect is lacking.
People would respect you if you had a sidekick.
It's so true.
Yeah. Batman had Robin.
Yeah.
Some other people.
Some other people had other people.
Yeah.
But hey, people have sidekicks.
They do.
Yeah. And we got nothing.
We got nothing going on.
Yeah. It's not good.
But so he got teased and stuff. And then he kind of turned to violence. Because he wanted, like, listen, this life is not worth living. But I'm going to have an exit. They've been calling Trump Hitler now for years. He's a Russian asset. He's a spy. He's selling out his country, blah, blah, blah. That's what they spewed on CNN and all these channels all day long.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I'm a nobody, but I'm going to show everybody that I'm somebody.
Right. So
he's going to do with the favor everybody wants him to do. And he goes up there and he almost made it. He almost made it. And I don't know what would happen. I mean, we would have probably like a civil war over there. If he shot him, it would be JFK times a million.
I think so.
It's like even though if it wasn't a deep state thing, everybody would think it was.
Yeah.
You know? Like, why was he on a slanted roof? why wasn't there any snipers up there? Right? It was the only place that wasn't like they were in the building, not on top of it.
Now the lizards would come into the discussion.
Right? They would show up. They were like, okay, listen, yeah. We've been there for millions of years.
Yeah.
We didn't plan this.
Yeah.
This was a guy who was bullied by women.
Yeah.
And he wanted to show him. Well, listen.
He repressed his anger.
He repressed his anger.
Yeah.
Right?
They were standing like this.
Yeah, they're standing like this.
Yeah.
And we're sorry, but we are lizards. Yes,
we control everything.
We did not control the royal family. Elizabeth wasn't a lizard, but she did work for us. Yes, she did.
Yeah.
So that's true.
And then David Icke.
And David Icke is actually right about everything.
And he becomes president.
Yeah. He's right about everything.
Yeah.
So hats off.
One last thing, that did you hear the new thing about how they think Alex Jones has been switched out with a clone? Because he used to scream so much before, ranting and raving and going totally, and now he's all like cool and like.
Yeah, but didn't have a heart attack or something.
Yeah, but that's apparently not good enough for these people. So he's now a clone now. So
but that's funny because it means that he's caught in his own web.
Yes,
Yes.
But it's good. It's good. People are expressing themselves. I like it. So anyway, Alex Jones is now a clone. So if you want to listen to Alex Jones, listen to the earlier stuff.
Yeah.
But you can still listen to David Icke because he's not a clone yet. So that's fine. And lastly, I just want to say that I think yoga people are literally because we talk about like the pea people down by the river and the hipster people and the original hipster people and the big pants and the pornographic mustaches and these people going, I can do it. But like when it comes to this repressed anger thing, right? It's very, very human to get very, very angry. And the yoga people, they repress all their fucking emotions and they sit there pretending to be somebody that they so clearly are not. And I need yin yoga for my stress levels, but I can't go because seeing these people elevates it more than the yoga brings it down.
Right.
And I don't know if anyone else, this is a common problem for people, but my hatred for the yoga community is unhinged at this point. Because they like put on a voice. Nobody talks like that. Nobody fucking talks like that. And so that's my message of the day to every yoga person who is listened, or ideally forced to listen to this, right? Tied to a chair, they put it on. You know what I mean? LP, boots knocking. But the point is,
they are playing this podcast in the El Salvadorian prisons.
Finally.
Which is one of our sponsors, by the way.
Finally.
Yes.
So listen, like you yoga people, like drop the voice, drop the act, be human. And
but the reason they're doing the yoga is because they want an identity. They don't have one, so they just like, oh, what is this guy with the ponytail who always goes to India all the time? What does he sound like? He talks like this.
Yeah.
Hi, what are their name? Hi, I'm Storm Shadow. Whatever the name they do.
Typical Storm Shadow.
Right.
Typical.
And find your inner voice. Like they do that stuff.
Yeah.
And
everything you seek is in what you're avoiding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come with me. I have some special herbal tea at my place.
Yeah, I've got some literature in my car.
I'm young and I don't know. Well, I am very old and I have a ponytail and a six-pack, so don't worry about it. I don't have a gram fat on my body. I used to be a computer engineer, but now I'm always wearing big pants and sweating all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I should, but maybe. But you look like a safe person. Yeah, don't worry about it. Right. So that's the people now.
Yeah.
That's all of them.
So it's just a daily reminder that if you're doing yoga, that's an interesting thing to do, but you are still uninteresting.
Spoken like a true warrior in the war of seeking the truth.
The truth wars. The truth wars of the 21st century.
People, follow us on TikTok, on the Instagram, Truth Train, and wherever the social is. Lloyd and Mellon. Or hand grenades in this war
of truth.
Bye.